Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voyages of Dusk and Dawn, where the cameras are always in the right place. How are my favorite players doing today?
Great.
Fantastic.
Good.
How's our favorite DM doing today?
Why does nobody ever ask that question? I'm good. I am excited for today's session. I've heard some cryptic things from the players. I've been preparing some fun story elements, let's call them. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we're going to get into. So where did we leave off? Who remembers?
We were just coming into the island of Wexland,
Right.
which is where the last inertial actuator, I think, is.
That's the expectation. So our party's on a boat, and good old leader of the party, what's the plan? You're approaching from the south side of the island, as you do.
On a boat.
On a boat.
The south side. Let's see. It looks like there's a settlement. Maybe we should approach from that side.
All right. Excellent. Our party can set out and circle round towards this large cove where this settlement is. And as we go round, we get a clear memory available. We go around this corner and look down into this bay. And this bay is dwarfed by or surrounded by large mountains, sheer sides, massive cracks running through it, and all of this frameworking, these like walkways and borders and scaffolding all along these cliffs. And there's like a little bit of a town that you can see, and they've got like large crane systems that hang over the edge and drop down, 60 feet or so into the water below, where there's ropes and pulleys that you could lift and lower things. And down in the area below, you can see like masts of ships that have been broken in this bay or harbor or whatever you want to call it, indicating that either the area down here is very shallow or rocky, or someone has intentionally sunk and destroyed ships down here, but they didn't sink too terribly far. I mean, it's while you're observing this that you get the sensation that there is something stored in your memory stone.
Cool. I call for a halt because it looks dangerous ahead, and we'll just play the memory.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. You are in the memory of, what have we been calling her? Celestria? The creator of the stone. You're not quite where you are on the boat. You're a little more far forward. And you're floating above the water. And you are speaking a command phrase as you stare at this cliffside, which is quite different. The large cracks aren't there. It sticks out quite a bit more. Everything is nice and intact. And there's a series of like little silvery light faces across in like a checkerboard pattern across the cliff face. The words you speak out are in the language of magic, and they mean inertia, reverse, and begin, but it's not like a sentence that gets thrown together. It's just like a couple of words. And as you speak these words, the cliff face shudders. The little lighter spots begin to glow in the grid. The wall and the cliff begins to shake. Rocks tumble into the sea. A whirlpool opens in the base of this cove right here. The bright lights shine as the cliff begins to crack and crumble, and you find yourself falling into the sea, dropping underneath the surface and being dragged towards the whirlpool when the memory ends. And then there's a second one right after that, where you're floating again, but with the sensation of being like cold and wet. And the cliff before you is badly cracked and broken. And you are thinking aloud, another failure. The eddies are too strong. It may take more power, more actuators to fully stop the tides. And then this second one triggers a third. Like this third one wasn't triggered by looking at it, it was triggered by the previous one and by the previous one. And this third one, you're sitting in a study, like an office room. You're looking out of like a tower window. You've got a desk in front of you. There's a stone wall, a window beyond, and you're looking out this window. And outside the window, it's sort of just vast expanses, and you can see that like, there's land way, way below you. You must be like, hundreds of feet in the air, maybe thousands of feet in the air. Maybe this is a floating tower. Maybe it's a tower on top of a mountain. Maybe it's not a tower at all. Maybe it's just a room on top of a mountain. Maybe it's a skyship. You're not certain, but you're way above the land, at a table, stone wall, window beyond. And you're saying aloud as you can like feel yourself rolling the memory stone in between your fingers. The actuators were a mistake. We were too busy wondering how to stop the churn that we didn't really wonder if we should. I think it was somehow holding back a great evil. The Archmage's close friend recognized something in the seas. He called it a familiar scent, but not in the olfactory way. Starlight and any other finders of the stone, do not stop the churn. Do not visit the central depths. Something came out, and whole islands have gone missing. I fear we may have repeated the mistakes of Lantia in a similar yet entirely different way. Hubris. The more strength we wield, the more terrible our mistakes, our blunders, our unforeseen consequences. This war is coming to the Dardanelles. Astaire will hold court tomorrow. I fear, but cannot say for certain, he is here to reprimand us, to conscript us. Some things truly are not meant for mortals, not even we elves. And then this triggers a fourth memory that is not this same person. It's the voice of Homily, the woman who's always, talking about too much power, too much, we gotta hide, we can't use our magic. And she says, as she's sort of sitting in another room, this seems to be more like a library, but she's not necessarily looking at anything. Her eyes are more sort of just off in the middle distance. These are more thoughts being said than the location being important. Homily says aloud, sort of into the empty room, that library room. She never told me what it was that came out. Astaire and Lord Devon did come, and Lord Ferris, Starlight, Trenzor, Ibram, and Ray all joined in. I'm sure you don't need a reminder of what happened next. And that memory fades as well, leaving you bobbing up and down in the water on your boat near Wexland.
Wow, okay. I share those with my crew. I think about that last phrase where you mentioned a number of people. Were those numbers of people inscribed on the pillar I have recorded a lot of names from?
Well, Astaire, that's the name of one of the gods. Sometimes people name their children after gods, like there's a lot of Jesuses in the world. This probably refers to the god, although Astaire and Lord Devon did come, like that would imply Astaire was physically walking around in the world, which has happened a couple of times in history, but is not a normal thing. Devon was not noted. Ferris, you know. Starlight, I can't... Starlight's not on any of the columns. Trenzor, Ibram, and Ray are mentioned as the top names on 3 separate columns.
Okay. And I guess cross-referencing them to Ferris, they'd be along the same timeline?
Probably. What are you getting at here? What do you think those columns were?
Leaders of the 6? The towers?
Yeah, well, they're all supposed to have been created by him or with him or as part of his organization. So if they're at the tops of those, yeah, that tracks. They're probably the original leaders of different towers.
Yes. Okay. I wonder, I talk about this as a crew and I wonder if they unleash something even more dangerous than this current threat of Telemachy. Or if it's Telemachy they unleashed. Seems kind of like
very
seems
powerful.
kind of like they wouldn't have a problem with just a measly sea dragon, though.
I'm pretty sure based on the stories, it was Wily that released Telemachy, but so it's probably something bigger than that.
I see. Well, we look around while we're nearing this bay, if there is a place to land, and then go into a settlement.
As you came up from the south side, you saw rocky, cliff-lined coasts everywhere. And as you come over here, there's clearly no place to park your boat, except maybe where this, what do we call it? This crane system is, but underneath that crane system, there are the wrecks of other ships. And as you gaze out, you can see in the distance on these scaffoldings, there are little tiny people moving around back and forth across them. And if the winds shift and blow just right, you might be able to hear the sounds of picks hitting against stone. And then, the winds will shift again and you'll lose the sound.
Okay, but
Must be
clearly...
somewhere we can land.
Go back around.
You'd have to keep exploring. There has not yet been a landing spot along this section.
Should we keep going, Captain?
Yeah, we'll round around the island. So, surely there's somewhere where they land and depart on the side.
Well, as you get over here, this section appears to be a soft, sandy beach that leaves these otherwise cliffy areas behind. This is definitely a landing spot. You could check down here too if you want, but this is somewhere along this beach line would work. This beach line is deep. This is, a few miles of sand, maybe a mile and a half or so of sand right around here. And nice short beaches here. And this is all open plain, and this is a forest.
There were people on that mountain. Does it seem obvious that they'd have noticed the ship?
Absolutely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Cool. Were there did they raise any concerns or alarms, or did they just mine?
They made no attempt to hail you or get your attention or signal anything.
Okay. Cool. We pull up the sandy dune and land.
You land the boat. You turn it into a box.
Ah, well, this is where I was going to perform some mad science. Pull out that crate of elven cloaks that we've got. I want to try something with this boat.
I pull them out.
Yeah, we set that aside, and we'll turn this to the small boat version, the Rift boat.
Ah, yeah, just like the little rowboat version. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder if these cloaks of elven kind can mask our boat. And I start to put the cloaks of elven kind on our little boat.
How many cloaks of elven kind do you have?
We have so many. We have 12 of them that aren't being worn by the three of us.
Wow, that is definitely enough to cover a little rowboat. This is a fascinating question.
I mused to myself and the crew, if we can somehow turn this craft very stealthy or perhaps even invisible, that might give us the an opening to explore the inner islands.
We'd still need somewhere safe to land, but yeah, we could leave it behind.
The cloaks.
And I think about the tales of those guys you've told us, which can see invisible items, or magical items. If that if that's like permanently on, if they would be able to see an invisible craft.
Well, you lay the cloaks over the boat, and the cloaks are sort of neutral, natural colors to begin with. And so that does sort of blend it in, but it's not like the magical blending if one of you had worn it and pulled the hood up and moved and turned yourself very still. It's definitely not having a magical effect laid across the boat.
Cool. I do stuff like attempting to activate the cloak while it's on the boat. But no dice?
No dice whatsoever, yes. They must be worn with the hood drawn up around the neck of a person. Otherwise, if you just dropped it on the ground, you would lose it. Yeah.
Sure.
Or if you hung it up on a wall, you would you'd never find your cloak if it could. Yeah. Sorry.
I muttered to myself, first we need to turn the boat into a person.
Now, you had asked if the boat was invisible, could people who detect magic see it? If you can detect magic, if it's hidden, you can still detect it. If it's like truly invisible, like if you cast invisibility on a person and then you're in the room with them and you cast detect magic, you can detect that there is something here. But it doesn't like outline them as if to make them super visible, but you can tell that there's something in the room. Let me double check the exact text.
You're told about special Inquisitor types which could do this. Is that effect permanent and constantly on? This always being able to see magic?
How did you learn about this? Because I've told a couple different versions of the story, and I don't remember the version I told you. Where did we hear?
I think it's probably from Wiley.
We just need to get a silver box. Put it inside the silver box. Sorry.
Wiley told you that it is some sort of magic item that they wear that grants this detection capability. And he also told you that they are often followed around by a squire of some kind who carries with them a shield of like magic nullification, or a shield of an anti-magic zone, or an anti-magic shield. And the squire stays back far enough away from the Inquisitor so that it doesn't interrupt with the helm's powers, the item's powers. But they can call up the squire, and then they can wield the magic shield, and then they're impervious to spells. I think that's what Wiley told you.
Okay, cool. Well then, we'll land, and I'll let the crew know that looks like they're excavating something pretty important there. Maybe we'll find something important too. Hopefully it looks like they're not enemies.
Will we need to cross the mountains, Captain?
We can go through that. I point to the green striped area. Is that a forest?
That's a forest. Yes. It creeps up to
travel around the forest, roundabout to the village.
All right.
Does that look like one day's travel?
Probably, unless you get lost in the woods. Now, granted, you're not starting off in the morning. You didn't arrive here until later in the day, so you might want to camp. If you want to do this all in one day, you might want to sleep now, or maybe get to the edge of the forest and sleep, or sleep within the forest if you think that's safer. But you probably won't make it there before sundown.
What do you guys think? I think here at the beach probably looks safest.
Do I see any crabs?
Just the normal kind.
Okay. I poke the glaive in the sand.
No dragons come out.
No dragons, Captain.
That's good news. We've had a lot of bad experiences traveling through forest. That's where they usually get us.
Can we skirt between like the forest and the mountain, or is it like pretty heavily?
No, the forest goes up the mountains. The art is hard, and I didn't know how to do it, so.
No, I mean that just makes.
Okay, now.
So.
We nap in here.
Oh. We sleep in here?
Or should we?
Yeah, sounds good.
The party sets up camp on the coast. Boat as a small boat. It is a slow afternoon because you've got hours to kill before the sun comes down. Is there anything we want to say or do or explore or figure out with the half day hanging out on the shore?
We've got the magic items we picked up. I'm gonna try and figure out if there's any abilities I can figure out, which I acknowledge is challenging, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Which items are you doing this with?
So I've got my shield, and we picked up some plate armor as well.
Are you equipping yourself in plate?
So in terms of size, I think you said it was for someone 5'5". But that's still like man-sized. If I can wear it, I will. But if I can't, then I won't bother.
But you're tall, right? You're like 6 feet.
I'm 6 foot. Yeah.
Yeah, this is more. Let's see what the DMG says about these things. As we all know, plate mail is sized for individual sizes of people, but in D&D it's easier just to be like, it's man-sized or it's halfling-sized.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says, like, X% chance that it's man-sized and Y% chance that it's, like, halfling-sized.
Does it differentiate between humans and half-elves? Because this was built for a half-elf. Elven chain mail comes in elf and half-elf versus human. But what about the plate? Which is funny because chainmail is the one that actually has the most variability in sizing. You can wear chainmail that's a little bit too big for you without too much problem. Can't really wear plate that's too big for you.
I got a marked deck from Lynn's body, a marked deck of cards. I'm going to spend this time just looking at the cards, just examining them, getting to know them, maybe tossing them around a little bit. I just want to be intimate with this deck of cards.
Neal, in the DMG under Appendix 3, Armor and Shields. When adding magical arms to the game, beware of sizing problems. 65% of all armor except Elven Chainmail is man-sized, 20% is elf-sized, 10% is dwarf-sized, 5% no more halfling-sized.
Yeah, and then Elven Chain has its special categories.
Yep.
So is half-elf man or elf-sized? Yeah. I rolled a die. It's man-sized. You could wear this, but it is plate, which does mean it's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. Yeah. And not using the encumbrance magical item encumbrance rules.
No, we're not going to use the. It doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't encumber you, but it still counts towards your max weight. The math on that's awkward, and that's very, very strong property.
That is very strong.
Yeah.
Is this a good item for you to wear while under the effects of the strength spell, Theodore?
It weighs 60 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the right time to use it.
Okay.
But it's heavy I'd still have to carry it around. Or someone would have to carry it around. So, difficult.
Right. You'd sort of have to, like, have strength on you and then equip it, and then...
Lug it around for the other days that I don't have strength.
Yeah, but then that'll slow you down as much as just wearing it, so...
Yep.
Yeah. It's a touch awkward.
Speaking of strength, I know it doesn't stack, but would it extend the duration if I cast a second strength? And if the second strength were a higher strength, would that
whatever
apply, then?
The longest duration is will take effect, but they won't stack. Yeah. So if you cast strength and it's going to end in 2 rounds, and then you cast strength again, you're just refreshing it from the beginning.
Refresh and re-roll, right?
Ooh. That's an interesting question. Because you could roll strength, roll high strength, and then will subsequent castings, if it hasn't worn off, just extend the duration without making you re-roll and potentially roll a lower strength score? This is a great question. Did you just cast strength 4 times on the same person?
Can you dismiss it at any time?
I don't think so. Some spells call out specifically that you can dismiss them, which implies that every other spell cannot be dismissed like that. It's last for the duration.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
I think if you keep casting it, and I think I'm going to regret this, but it's the only way that makes sense, you can re-roll, but you're never going to lose strength. You can re-roll and take a higher result. But casting strength on someone won't lower the value. And it will extend the duration. Which is potentially...
the most favorable reading. Okay.
It's very generous, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the only way that makes sense with this.
Great.
Well, it's either that or you keep the initial strength and just extend the duration. That might make more sense. I don't know. I'm open to arguments. Sell me.
Sure. What I was initially thinking was it would be cool to, if you rolled poorly on the first one, just cast strength again and then get a higher roll. Which would work under your generous interpretation, but not work if it just extended the first one.
Right. But if strength
that seems fine.
It does.
I'd
But let's
say
say
that
you...
seems fine. Like, you're using a second level spell slot just to re-roll your bad first roll, which seems okay.
So you could cast strength on somebody, get a good roll with it. You know, you roll an 8 for the warriors. And then 6 hours later, just before it's about to expire, you cast strength again, and you get to keep that roll of an 8. You get the high roll automatically applied for another duration.
That seems a bit too good. I would perhaps say that you would just roll it each time.
You just take the new one, maybe.
So if you have high strength and then someone else casts strength on you. So, I mean, the casting time's a little bit long, but in a combat situation, because improved strength is a casting time of 1 round, right?
Yep.
Improved. So if you cast improved strength on one of your party members and you roll an 8 on their strength, maximizing their strength score, the enemy wizard could cast strength on them, and if they roll a 1, reduce their strength.
I mean, that's a hilarious thing that they would do.
Right, it would be
I
so
think-
impossible to come up with that situation, but theoretically, that's the sensible
think that's
interpretation.
I think that's fine.
All right, we can do that.
Fine.
You just re-roll it. It essentially cancels the other one and replaces it. That seems fine.
Sounds good. I know in 5th edition, generally these things state willing creatures. I'm guessing
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess
there is no specific requirement to be a willing creature when you cast a buff spell in 2nd.
Right. There's no saving throw because it's assuming the target is willing, but if they are unwilling, they can make a saving throw.
Okay.
This just implies that you would never cast it on someone who didn't want you to do it. You can always choose to fail a saving throw if you know a spell is coming. Okay. Well, our party
Great.
plays with armor. You wear it. You do a little sparring. Unfortunately, magical bonuses never confer their true properties until you're actually in a serious situation. So even the little bit of sparring doesn't quite do it. You'd need to actually be trying to do damage to one another. Now, if you want Vaya to actually try and beat the living shit out of you and do damage, we can roll those
I'm good.
dice.
I'll roll a
I'm good.
damage roll.
But I say random command words in the hope that it will do something.
Just random. Why don't you roll me a 1d 100,000? Yeah.
Hey, what, 100,000? Right,
Yeah. Or you're doing a whole
100,000.
bunch of random words, right? So give me a,
Like 5d 100,000?
yeah, 5d 100,000. Roll high. No, nothing.
Did it roll?
Yeah.
Sad.
I spend the afternoon figuring out if I can make the boat invisible with cloaks, and I also just test out the Cloak of Elvenkind to my own to see how it works.
It works exceedingly well on you or any member of your party. Yeah. You put it on,
So
you
basically-
put the hood up, and you stop moving, and you just sort of like blend into the background.
Captain, might I try something?
Please.
Okay, I've occasionally have worn the box on my back, so I rope trick it. I use the rope, tie it around kind of my back, and then I have an elven cloak underneath the box. And then I ask, Captain, can I have one of the smaller elven cloaks? And then I put it over the box around me and tie that tiny little elven halfling cloak around my neck, and then I stand still.
Wait, so you've got a Cloak of Elvenkind on you, like a normal person, and then you wear the box on your
Yeah,
back, like a backpack. You use some...
Well, like a satchel, kind of like a tight rope around each side of it, like you would maybe like a pot or like a plant or something.
Uh-huh.
Like kind of cradle it in rope and then put it around my back, kind of next to the pack back there, and put the cloak around the pack and the.
So you got
box.
2 Cloaks of Elvenkind on, with the box sandwiched
Layered.
between them.
Yes.
People are so creative today. What's going on?
And if I carry it and leave my blowgun, I'm still at light encumbrance, so I mean I could carry it.
Such good questions.
I know this doesn't solve maybe going every location, but it might be a solution.
When it is worn with the hood drawn up around the head, it enables the wearer to be nearly invisible. I feel like it has to fully cover you. Which
They
it
both
can't-
do.
Right.
Or one would fully cover me, and the other one would fully cover all this stuff. But they'd both be tied around my neck.
I think if you wear the one that's on you will work, and then the one that's on the box will not. But if you just wear the box with the cloak over the box, so there's only one cloak on you, and it's on the outside of the box, if it can still wrap around your body, then it'll still work.
I'm pretty small. I'm
and
like
the box is not that big.
5'2".
It's a foot thick and a foot wide and what, 2 feet long, something like that. I can't remember the dimensions off the top of my head. So yeah.
I reposition it underneath my normal cloak. Is it?
Yes, it'll hide you and the box. It'll hide you and your backpack. Absolutely. But that means if you want to get rid of the box, you'd have to take the cloak off. Probably. Maybe. It ties around here. You
or
can
cut the rope.
Yeah, or flip the cloak off and take. It would mildly inconvenient to take the box off. Yeah.
Well, Captain, there is that. And I hand the box back to him. If you can't figure out anything else.
Useful. And it sounded like it just worked if you stay still, but was there some way to become invisible while wearing it?
No, if you walk, it breaks the effect.
Okay.
I think it says something like, if you move violently or quickly.
Yeah.
Is the wording.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to stay on the ground and crawl, it would be fine. There's a hastiness to it.
All right.
Well, we play with cloaks. We play with armor. Were there any other things that we wanted to experiment with before night falls?
I just play with that marked deck of cards, getting to know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Give me a good old int check there, Via. Vaya?
Bea.
I think I've been calling you
like,
Via for years now.
You have, but it's Han versus Han. It's different accents. It's whatever.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you see the deck. You notice it's marked. You're having a little trouble noticing each and every card in the deck. When you play out a hand for another person, you can't quite pull out exactly what cards they've got. A little more practice, a little more time. Well, the night passes, or the afternoon passes, and night falls. It is a fairly quiet evening. A little bit of wind blows off the sea. Some gentle rain begins to fall. The waters in the ocean are relatively still. It keeps lapping up against you even in the rain. The rain's not too terrible. There's not like a huge storm or anything. I think you have tents? Someone's got tents. Yeah. The night passes without too much trouble. By morning, the rain is still coming down, although just a little bit. It's sort of just a drizzly gray day.
Okay, great. I let the party know that traditionally, most of my crew has died through random walks through forests, so this is a place to be on high alert. If something too dangerous comes up, perhaps we should activate our cloaks and just stay still, and hopefully it doesn't notice us.
Captain, if I die, please just give my money to an orphanage. I don't have family. There's no one else in my lineage. Just, if you wouldn't mind being generous to the orphan kids.
Understood.
Thank you. I take off into the forest.
We head out into the grasslands towards the mountains and the forest beyond. The trudge across the plains is a little bit slow. There's like a vague path that you come across eventually where you can kind of see some old wagon ruts and some areas where the grasses have been like knocked down. You can get on this path, which will guide you if you want to go on the path. Maybe you think the path is a trap. You don't want anything to do with them. But you find the path.
That's good.
Yeah. You find the path, and as you reach the forest, it widens and gets a little bit more clear. Occasionally it's like lined with dead logs that have been pushed aside. It looks well worn and old over here, like someone's been trudging this path for a long time. Little bits of roots come up and intersect the path from time to time, but those roots have been like worn down by footsteps and have that like polished, gleaming dead wood look on them.
Does it look like human size just by the feet? Like, could just a human walk through? Could you get a wagon through?
You could get a wagon down this path, definitely. The canopy overhead. Go ahead.
Have I seen any huge footprints, like larger than human?
Not yet. Not in the grasslands, and not on this hard-packed dirt road. Although with the rain coming down and everything, it is getting a little bit soft. You don't have a tracking proficiency, do you? Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay, it's at this entrance to the forest that I'll prepare Theodore for casting of the strength spell. Get a 1d8.
It's the normal strength, right?
Yeah, spend the usual 10 minutes to cast the spell.
So 6.
Nice.
So what does that bring your strength to?
Yeah, I was just checking what happens when you get to 18.
10th of a point after that.
Yeah, so 18-20.
Okay, that's pretty good strength.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. The forest is nice and quiet, as it would be on a rainy day. You know, everyone's sort of huddling down, trying to stay out of the rain. The birds are quiet, the bees are silent. Any other critters that might be walking around are pretty quiet. There's the occasional breeze that you can hear the trees sort of like creaking and moving back and forth in, but it's not particularly heavy, and the white noise of the rain sort of drowns out all the other sounds. It's dark, overcast with the rain, and then with the canopy of the forest, it just sort of makes everything just a little bit darker, you know, just a little bit gloomier. We mentioned a moment ago about all these great and terrible things that have happened when our party's gone through woods. Is there a fear that in the darkness and the rain, this is too dangerous to do and we should wait for better weather, or are we just plowing ahead?
A little rain never hurt anyone.
Would the darkness and the rain improve our hiding chance with the cloak, or would it have no impact, or would it make it worse? Because the water would be hitting us, putting out a shape.
I think the cloak is just based on whether you're in a natural setting or not. It's magic.
Yeah. It's not the rain that's dangerous, it's the forest. And this forest isn't going anywhere.
That is true. What are the chances of
I'll let the party know, hopefully, that I prepared emergency ride the wind if we ever need to escape.
We're in an area of heavy growth in a forest, so when you use this cloak, it is a 100% chance to blend in and become invisible in your natural surroundings.
Pretty good.
100% chance is pretty good.
I like those odds.
Yeah. We enter the woods. And it doesn't take too terribly long, maybe an hour or two in the woods before we come across clear tracks of something inhuman.
Bipedal?
Ooh, no one here has a tracking proficiency, right?
Correct.
So, how do we
I can
determine?
think about it.
It makes an int check, 25.
Like, are the...
Well, it's definitely, it does. These tracks have like really long toes that end in claws that have a pretty good splay on them. 4 toes, well splayed out, weirdly long. Almost like, you know, if a person with really long fingers and no thumbs were walking on their hands. That's sort of the impression that you get. And it's in this like relatively softened top layer of the hardened trail where the rain is sort of seeping into the earth and creating these like little impressions, and there's a bunch of them. It's hard to tell if it's one creature that has walked back and forth in this area, or if it's multiple creatures that have walked back and forth in this area, or if it's, you know, one thing with a lot of legs, or if it's some sort of illusory spell where there's, you know, it's creating multiple tracks of itself. It's sort of a mess.
Hope we don't run into those. We continue.
I am not first. However, whatever the
I'm
walking
fast.
order is, I am not first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go
You're
second.
like,
You watch our back.
yeah, should we all like go back to back so we're all watching 3 different angles and just like walk through this slowly?
That'd be a very slow walk.
Be better than getting jumped.
Yeah. You walk along, you see these tracks, and then they sort of disappear. The trail that you're following winds its way away from the mountains, not wanting to go into difficult ground. You've lost sight of these tracks. You catch them every now and then, but at this moment in time, you've lost sight of them. But you hear the sound, a voice calling out, so like the voice of two adolescents, you know, someone that 14, 15, 16 age, sounds like a young boy and a young girl, and they are sort of shouting, not shouting, but like doing that sort of like lost cry of like, hello, is anyone out there? Hello? And then sort of quiet. And then a little bit later, hello?
I put my hands over my ears and don't listen to it.
You don't need
What do you think
children.
we should do, Captain?
This is the time. I'll pull my cloak up over my head and just, you know, let's hunker down for a little bit.
We should
Yeah.
be just waiting here.
Yeah, I'll go up against the tree and then just wait. The cloak's pulled up.
I'll drop my glaive, kind of cover it so that it's not sticking out, but it's at
Mhm.
my feet, and I will stand still.
Yeah, you hold close, you hold still. The voices sort of seem like they're receding. They were on your right side of where you were walking, and they feel like they're getting further away until you can't hear them anymore. Maybe 5-6 minutes after you stopped moving.
Good. Let's keep going, and we'll keep that up. If they seem like they're getting closer, we'll just hide out for a bit.
Okay. Maybe 150 feet later, the voices call out again, this time a little bit more panicked and closer. Hello? Hey, is that someone? I need your help! Help!
Cloak's on!
The voices fade. stop. And what species are we playing here?
Human.
We're all humans. Oh boy. Can I get everybody in the party to make me a perception check? 3, 12, and 18. Oh, Vaya, you might have your hands over your ears. But as you sort of look around, you have that idea of like everyone back to back, maybe. So as you've got your cloaks up and you're standing still, and the party is like holding fast in the forest, the direction you're looking, you can see something stalking towards you in the woods. It's far off. Well, it's not terribly far off. It must be about 100 feet or so from you. It's sort of like crawling down carefully from a cliffside. You can like see its first foot and its long neck, and then the second, and then the third and the fourth foot all sort of like come down off of this cliffside. It has a series of spindly tentacles coming off of its back, a long tail, sort of green flesh with purple hues running down it, a large maw ending in sharp teeth, and no discernible eyeballs. And it is coming towards you.
Directly towards us, yeah. I say,
Well, what does direct mean, you know?
Well, I wonder if it saw us. Although, I guess it was crying and then it stopped, and if it saw us, put on our cloaks.
Well, the voices were coming from a very different
us.
direction.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. I brought us to a map. The voices were coming from up this way. Creature is coming from over here.
Oh,
there's two
no.
of them. Oh, no. I say, Captain, there's something over there. It's stalking us.
All right.
It's getting closer.
Seeing it pointed out, I'll take the opportunity to strike first, I guess. Magic
Well,
missile.
initiative.
Yeah. You move, you begin to cast the spells. It was definitely seeing you. And as you move and reveal yourself once more, we can roll initiatives.
Hey Neal, have I ever heard about something that looks like this?
Where are you from?
I'm from the Dodens, and I have folklore.
Make me a folklore check.
Sure.
Do you remember which island you're from? Did we specify?
I didn't specify, I fail.
Well, perfect. Love it when you roll failure on this check. No, you have no idea what this thing is. It's definitely not native to your island. It's definitely not native to any place you've ever seen. It's a horrifying monster, and in this time and age, everyone loves to talk about things. Displacer beasts, griffins, ogres, dragons. People love to talk about monsters, but you don't know what this one is.
This is what Neal's been teasing us with in Discord.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sometimes you find a good token and you make a battle out of it.
Tentacle lizard.
God, what do we do, Captain?
Now, as I understand it, it is Vincent who has thrown off his cloak and begin casting spells, which rolled us into initiative. So Vincent is the highly visible one who wins initiative and unleashes his magic missiles into the beast.
Can't hide from it, I mutter. Might as well strike. Find myself if I got an extra missile here.
Are you 7th level?
Oh, yes.
Then it's
So
4d4 plus 4. Very good damage output.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a lot of points of damage. Your missiles rip into the beast, who goes next.
Oh,
And it's
boy.
got high speed. It
Footstep
hurries
backwards.
on its
Oh,
6
boy.
legs towards you. Brum, brum, brum. And as it gets closer, you can see that it has like 6 tentacles that run down its back. The foremost 2 end in eyeballs. They're more like eye stalks than like weaponized tentacles. And the other 4 behind those end in like pointy, claw-like things. It will hold itself on the weight of its 4 back legs, reach out with its 2 front claws, its 4 tentacles, and its bite for 7 attacks in a single
Oh my
round.
god.
The bite is a hit.
Oh god.
Your AC is 14, Vincent?
Yeah.
That's a crit. It'll
He has
rip you
to bring
for
Neal.
11 points of damage.
Oh no. It's over.
The claw.
You're wearing the ring, right?
What ring?
Yes, the ring that
Looks like-
It's the
smacks
ring
you
of
and then uses one round.
protection and
Yeah, it has a ton
does
of
a number of
tentacles. I just
charges.
not to use it on this.
Did you say you were not wearing it?
I usually decide whether or not to turn it on. I didn't decide to turn it on for this one.
Oh. GG.
The ring of protection and warding, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that something you turn on or off? I thought that was just a passive. Can't remember though. Been a while since we.
Put it on your
He
finger.
means
and
he's
on-
not wearing it.
Oh, yes, I have
right.
like a little pouch. So I guess it's not even
okay.
on me right now.
Got it. The second attack is a claw, and it'll strike you for 1d6 damage for 2. That's 13 so far.
Okay.
The second claw comes in with a miss, and the tentacles. 1 will strike you for another crit for 2d4, 3 points of damage. This one will hit you for 1d4, 2 points of damage. 11's a miss, and 13 is a miss. So what do we get total? 2 and 3 is 5, and 2 is 7, and 11 is 18. Yeah.
Yep, that matches up with the 7 I have. Looks like it didn't update my HP bar. I adjusted the blue number.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
see the bar updated. You don't?
Okay.
I see the bar updated.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Roll 20 is fun sometimes. I'm sure it'll fix if you refresh. Otherwise, that is the Gelf's turn. Theodore, the monster's before
Captain,
you.
what should we do?
Take this down, Hyperbole.
Alright, I want to step up. Can I get around behind it for a back attack?
Yeah. You move forward.
Okay.
You get behind it so its attention stays laser focused on your leader. Don't put yourself between your leader and the creature. Make sure the leader tanks all the damage.
But I'm gonna get bonuses to hit and I'll kill it now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Go
Okay,
for
so
it.
I attack with my sword.
A 14
+2 for that.
will
No
hit.
dex. Nice. 9 points of damage.
Excellent damage. You rip into the backside of this thing. Its blood flows freely. It yowls in pain. One of the eye stalks turns to look at you and then pivots to look at Vea as she rolls in with the huge glaive. (13) is a miss. You slash
flank
at
it?
it.
Flank.
Oh no,
Flank.
it looked towards.
It's got an eyeball staring at you. Yeah. Initiative.
Ugh.
It rolls a natural
Oh
1.
my god, Neal.
Well, it's turned towards me, so R.I.P.
That's actually so fast.
It's very fast. This creature shows incredible signs of intelligence and cunning. Wounded, clearly outnumbered, the creature takes a disengage action, covering its retreat with its spiked tentacles and tail, and bounds at high speeds. Well, as high speed as you can go with the withdrawal, into cover. And as it flees, it does like it keeps like one tentacle with an eyeball looking back towards you, and it sort of moves back and forth in and out of trees, keeping as much cover between it and you as possible as it uses its high speed to... How far can it actually go? I think this is probably about it.
Thanks. If that's a third, so it can go like 300 feet and around.
Vincent.
That looks like it's within 390 feet. Wow, is that the range of magic missile?
It's very large.
Yeah. 130 yards, 390 feet. Cool. I prepared magic missile. I fire its unerring aim at it, assuming I can still see a glimpse of it.
It is absolutely trying to keep cover between you and it. I'm gonna have you make a perception check. No bonuses, no penalties. It's dark, it's rainy, it's hiding in trees, but it's not that far away. No. It's too hard to spot as it takes cover.
Great. I chant the words for the magic missile, and I hold it steady in case I manage to get an eye on it.
Rest of the party members, this is your chance to earn glory and win your wizard's favor.
I cover Vincent and ready an attack if it approaches.
I mean, can I even reach it if I ran? I couldn't reach it in an attack in one round, right?
You could charge it.
Yeah, good idea.
No. I'm gonna stay near Vincent and kind of look the opposite direction to see if another one is sneaking up on us.
There is not, and it will continue to bound through the trees. I should mention that when I say it runs quickly through the trees, you know, it's got 6 legs. 6 legs doesn't actually mean you move faster. What helps it move through the forest is that these like long tentacles out in front of it, they actually bind themselves on things and pull it. Sort of like a monkey might swing through a forest. This creature is running on its feet and grabbing trees with its arms and yoinking it forward at high speed. And it'll bolt and leave the scene.
You have a way to heal yourself, Captain.
I pant a bit. What a terrifying monster. I do, but it's probably not worth using the very few potions of healing we have left.
I don't know if you'll take another jumping.
I'm fine, I put on a brave face. How far through the forest have we made it?
How would you know? You've never been through this forest before. You don't have GPS. It's terrible. You just have to walk until you hopefully find the end.
Surely I have some sort of guess as a cartographer who's rounded around the island.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, okay. With your cartography proficiency, you've been in here for like an hour and a half, so you're probably about halfway through, maybe a little bit less. 30 to 50%.
Great. We'll brave on through. It ran off. It knows its place.
Maybe you should put on the ring, Captain. In case it comes
yes, I'll do that.
I look at Captain with more respect than I've ever had for him. And I just put a shoulder on it. Or I put my hand on his shoulder. That was a good hit. You took a good hit, Captain.
I saw my eyes, my life flash before my eyes there.
Indeed. I saw your life flash before my eyes also.
You continue through the forest, keeping an eye out for monsters. You hear no more sounds of people calling out for you. You don't see any sign of it again. And as you approach the edge of the woods, you can see there's like a stretch of open grassland and then like a small forest. And just beyond that small forest, you can see little tendrils of smoke in the far distance, barely visible against the gray clouds overhead and the rain coming down. The village, town, whatever you want to call it, must be just beyond.
Thank goodness, maybe they'll have a place for us to rest up there.
Maybe they're cannibals.
They wouldn't be cannibals. That's ridiculous. Let's go in.
Okay. We make our way across the plains. We enter into this next little tiny forest with some like low scrubs and some bushes. And we see there is indeed a little village beyond. There's some farmland. There's a couple of houses. And can I get another set of perception checks from the party?
$25.
Excellent. You also notice that the village has some damage to it. The fences around some of these farmlands are like knocked down or ruined. Some of the buildings that you can see have been burned or destroyed. You don't see any peasants out in the fields working. You don't see any livestock hanging around. It looks a little bit abandoned, damaged, destroyed. I mean, you saw people on the cliffs yesterday. But from this angle, the town looks to be in quite the sorry state.
Any indication what caused it?
Not from this great distance. You would have to get like up and into the town. You know, you rolled a 31 and a 25, so you're seeing, you know, this detail from far off.
Okay, you mentioned signs of burning, is that right?
Yeah, some of the roofs, the wood and clay tile roofs, have clearly been like smokened and blackened, and there's sections of walls where it's like that whitewashed plaster on the outside, but then like big black marks across it, and then like ruined, destroyed stuff nearby that.
I think that thing attacked the village.
That didn't look like it breathed fire.
Maybe they tried to fight it off.
Thought they would get fire damage on their houses like this through that. Maybe we can take one of these abandoned houses and rest up for the night.
Are they actually abandoned, or do they just look abandoned?
Well, the answer to all of these is to just get a little bit closer and find out. The strength spell you cast lasts for 7 hours. That should get you pretty much to sundown. March? Yeah. We're here at the end of winter, and you didn't get to the forest right away, so you should have strength until sundown. You approach town.
Can we get like just outside of arrow distance and do another perception check?
Sure. I mean, arrow distance from what, though? What
the
is...
first building?
The very first building? Yeah, of course. There we go. That's great. You start walking through the fields, hopping over this fence, moving through this fallen, broken area. You'll see that the fields here are in fairly good condition. They've got some weeds in them, like you would expect, but it doesn't look like it's been completely abandoned. Like someone harvested this stuff last fall, and the Dardennes are a pretty warm area. You don't quite have the leave the fields completely barren because it's all going to get covered in snow, but it is sort of resting for this part of the year. But since it is the Dardennes and it's warm and there's sunshine, like things are growing up. It looks like this field in particular used to have a bunch of potatoes in it, and you know how potatoes, well, once you plant a potato somewhere, that field will have potatoes forever. You can't stop them. They will always keep growing. So you see like little shoots of potatoes popping up here and there, giving you the impression that this area has been recently maintained, like months ago, was well maintained and maybe has stopped its maintenance. No, last 6 months, last 3 months, who knows? But with the 30s, the perception check, you can indeed spot a pair of goblins who move out from one of these houses nearby at the edge of the fields. The two of them go sort of around the building into what looks like a little corral or something like that. And as you're watching and waiting them, they come back out. You're at max range, so you can't hear what they're saying or really notice too much of their detail. But they leave the corral and head back towards one of these buildings, where they switch positions with another pair of goblins who were hanging out in the shade under a tree. It's raining, keeping out of the rain. And then the ones that were under the tree move and head back in towards the building, while these two goblins take their positions at the changing of the watch.
Did we see humans mining kind of the mountain, or was it goblins that we saw from the boat, or were we too far away?
We were pretty far off. Little creatures, I said, little people. Could have been goblins.
Yeah. Had this talk with people. I think people does specifically mean human, but maybe in a fantasy world, people could mean goblin.
Talking denotation or connotation here.
Yeah. Captain, I see goblins.
I hope this entire village hasn't been taken over by goblins. It might have, though. We're gonna have to camp outside tonight, then.
In the wilds?
That thing's out there.
Surely it doesn't escape past its forest environment.
Surely.
Surely. I mean, there's not like an abandoned building slightly outside the outskirts of town that we haven't seen anyone by.
There is a shed, little shepherd shack shed out in one of these fields where you might find just a little bit of shelter, maybe some random old tools. It's not going to provide particularly great cover.
Could someone lay down?
Yeah.
Or it's everyone standing?
Yeah, you
Captain,
could all.
there's a shed.
Good. Better than anywhere else. We'll keep our carbon footprint very low tonight to not let the goblins know we're here.
Okay. Well, it's still daylight. You make your way across the fields to the shed in the daylight.
Or should we have waited?
I mean, if you can
We've
see
got
them, they
cloaks
can
of
see
elven
you,
kind.
right? You
We've got
do.
cloaks of elven kind, yeah.
So even when we're moving, does it have some benefit, or is it just like wearing any old cloak?
When you're like doing your normal walking, it's just like any old cloak. If you were
But if we're going
to,
like very slow, like all wrapped up.
if you're slow, low to the ground, the effect is pretty persistent.
Captain's call.
There's not that much difference between waiting. I guess it's still daylight. Maybe we should crawl towards the goblins and ambush them.
We could at least see how many there are. If it's only a couple, then we could probably deal with them. If the whole village is full of them, then maybe not.
Right. Yeah, we can do our invisible crawling towards the goblins thing, then.
You don't think they've seen you already? As you were like
No.
walking through the fields? No? Okay. They would have thrown up an alarm if they had already seen you, right?
Yeah, we would have
Yeah.
gotten greeted by arrows.
Yeah. I mean, you're out of arrow
Those two-
range. You specified out of arrow range.
But those goblins weren't moving with like a specific agency,
Sort of
right? They were just
pointed
kind
or-
of
yeah.
doing their thing.
Yeah, they seem to just change watches. They didn't seem to be ringing alarm bells. You know, maybe they're just friendly old goblins.
That's not what I said. They are not friendly, but
How would you know?
Okay.
Would you judge a book by its cover?
constantly.
Do we have any
Almost
lore
every
of
single
friendly
time.
goblins?
No.
No, okay.
No. Okay. Well, we move. Did we say we're going towards them or towards the shepherd shack?
We'll try to sneak up on them with the cooks.
All right. Low to the ground, the party crawls through the fields, moving between potato bushes, taking our time to make sure our cloaks are in effect. Now, that means you guys can't see each other at all. So how do you let each other know that you're like still next to one another, like that someone's not crawling at 3 times the speed as someone else because you can't see each other? Are you constantly talking?
Go.
Yeah, do a little chirp sound.
Chirping back and forth. Crawl. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show C with Jason Momoa? Exactly like that.
Mm-mm.
I would think of it as if we're next to each other crawling, and we know we're in cloaks, that we should be able to see each other.
I mean, they're magic cloaks of elven kind. They make you blend in with your surroundings.
We're in open fields right now, right? Looks like a 95% invisible.
95% invisible. Well. Someone has found the right tables. That is exactly how you play this game. Well done. Yeah, I guess if you're 95% invisible and right next to each other, you can kind of make out the little bit of light bending and keep close as you approach the goblins. Let's add some tokens to our little mappy map. Get a little bit closer.
Oh, they would have the advantage at night, right? So it's still day.
Yep.
It's not sundown yet.
It is not sundown yet, but it is getting later in the day because crawling is very slow. Granted, arrow range isn't that terribly far, but you know, I'm imagining you took your time to get here, and now you can see a pair of goblins underneath this tree, a light and gentle rain coming down. Burned.
And where did the other ones go?
They went into this building.
Okay. And we haven't seen any others in our slow crawl forwards.
No, it's raining. Everyone's, hiding inside. There could just be 2, or there could be 100. Well, probably not 100 goblins in that building. That's a lot. It could be a clown car filled with clown goblins.
What do you think, Captain? We've only
Relying
seen a
on you
couple.
guys. Just crawl up to them, and you guys stab them good.
And then if more come, just keep fighting.
Yeah, they're goblins. We're experienced explorers at this point. Surely we can take on a few goblins.
Okay. How close can I get? Are they staring at us? Are they? Yeah, of course they would be, because they're protecting the town.
Yeah, they're looking out in your direction.
Can we make our way over here and then come and flank them?
Didn't see where
I
over
guess
here
they'd still
is.
kind of see us.
Can you ping it again?
Oh, I meant just like
Yeah.
come from over
Joy,
here.
of course you can change your angle. You whisper amongst
Little
yourselves.
Alright, we'll take that path.
Are they in a tree?
Oops.
Are they under the tree, or are they in like a
They're just
like a
sitting
tree
under
house,
the
like
tree.
planks. Okay.
We can get as
Party-
far now, nothing happens.
Yeah, well, you get to about here, and as you're approaching this fence with this little tiny corral, again, no animals in the little corral, you'll notice movement inside this building. An orc passes across a window, like from one area in the building to another, crossing past a window, and like disappears again.
Can we hear any chatter of goblins and orcs?
Yeah. As you listen, you can hear the sound of at least 2 orcs in this building. Does anyone speak Orcish? They're talking amongst themselves. I don't think so.
We should have set it on fire and ran.
In the rain?
Drizzle.
What do you think,
should we-
Captain? There might be a lot.
Yeah, now I don't really want to engage those goblins. Maybe we should just crawl into this town and see what we're dealing with here.
back
Keep
down
crawling west, see if there's anyone in these buildings.
Okay. We crawl into the town. When you get to around here, the edge, when you're about to walk, crawl into this next section, and you look up and down in the street, you'll notice a series of cages are actually in this pen up here. And there's at least one person alive in one of those cages. They're, the cage is out in the pen, in the mud, in the rain, and there's a person who's clearly like huddled together in the middle of the cage, rubbing their arms and like trying to keep warm in the freezing, well, the cool weather, I should say. It's the Dardanelles, it's winter, but it's warm.
They look emaciated. They look like they haven't eaten and they're exhausted.
The cage bars and the rain are pretty annoying line of sight blockers. They're only 80 feet away, though. That's not too bad.
Like when you get a sword in their hand.
Let's
probably not
see. Fog, or let's see. Light rain. Can't see those details until you're about 30 feet out.
If I'm supposed to see darkness, you may want to apply darkness to my character.
No, it's daytime, but
Oh, okay.
it's just the.
Yeah. I'd love to talk to that person, but they're too close to the goblins. Let's to the orcs and goblins. Let's keep going west and see if there's anyone in this town.
Forgot to show people a map. Yes.
Looks like that's a fairly worn, completely destroyed building up ahead. Does that look like it was like in a siege or something?
It definitely looks like it's been burned. And beyond this is the rest of the town, and some sections of it have also been damaged and burned. But you're not getting like siege, like boulders being flung into anything. You're not getting that sort of vibe. Maybe there was just a local fire. Things do burn. Not in the modern era because we have, fire departments and good plumbing. But things used to burn all the time.
Okay. That large burnt building looks like a good destination.
Oh.
Okay, I crossed the street.
Yeah. Now, we are no longer in natural settings. We are moving into urban environments. It's only like 90% functional here. But 90% functional does mean I get to start rolling to see if people notice you. Cloaks of Elvenkind don't just mean perfect invisibility as long as we crawl forever and no one will ever notice us, right? Also, as you crawl, you disturb the ground, and as you pass over it, like lines of movement, especially in mud or this sort of thing, if you bump into bushes or plants, they'll move back and forth. Luckily, you were crawling through open fields that just had some potatoes. In this part of the town, though, with the dirt trails, the muddy trails, if anyone's looking in your direction, they might notice like tracks appearing in the mud. Or they might just see you, because it's only 90% effective. Yeah. All right. We make our way over to here.
Sorry.
And we start making our way up into this section of the town.
Can we see the cages any more closely from here?
Yes, you
Still
can
not
make
close
out
enough.
that it is a human female in the cage. She has some like tattered clothes and shackles around her wrists. She doesn't seem emaciated. She doesn't seem like starved to death, but she doesn't seem to be in good condition. They caged her and shackled her. Yeah.
Other cages don't have more humans, just the one?
One of the other cages has a dead body in it, and the others, if they have bodies, they're too low to the ground for you to tell at this point. You'd have to get right up. You'd have to, get nice and close, because there's this little fence that goes around everything, and you need a better view.
As we've gone through, have we seen any other goblins or orcs, like through the windows or anything?
Good idea. Let me take a look around. Yeah, you noticed there was an orc in this building right next to you.
Okay, so at least 3 orcs and 4 goblins. This town's probably crawling with them.
Could be. Once we look in this large building, we'll know for sure.
Okay, let's keep going then.
Go to take a look at this big building. It is badly damaged. It's collapsed. It's fallen apart. There's no signs of inhabitation whatsoever. Water drips in through the roof, splattering on the floors. The ground floor looks mostly intact. It's the second floor that's really, really messed up. But even that, the floor in between the two has crumbled in some places, and the ground level looks empty. The town does continue off the map, though. There's plenty more town to go.
Okay. Are we able to see the mountains from here, where they were mining?
The mountains are to your north and east. More east than north, I should say. So if you go this way, you will go deeper into the town and towards the cliff sides.
Sure. This looks like areas where we can just crawl and not disturb the pavement that much.
Sure. We proceed deeper into the town. Why don't we take a short break? We'll come back in the town. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We begin to crawl through the town northward, and we come over here. As we begin to crawl, coming out from behind a building down a walkway is an ogre, a large 8.5 foot tall sort of hulking creature carrying a large spiked club in one hand.
Just lumbering.
It's lumbering in your direction.
Okay, let's get out of the street. Can we get into a building?
Yeah, of course. Just slightly crawl over and into one of these abandoned buildings. Ogre looks for his D10s. The ogre walks down, sort of squeezes through this passageway, gets real close to you guys. Real close. And walks right on past and heads down towards the other side.
Can you smell an ogre? What does an ogre smell like from this distance?
Kind of like a moldy sheep.
Does it linger after the ogre leaves?
No, the water and rain keep everything at bay.
Well, looks like this entire town has gotten overtaken by these creatures. Might be a good time to pick out one house to the left, which isn't destroyed, and hunker down.
Yeah, some sections of this area look quite fine. Others look, severely damaged. Maybe like a fire blazed through a section of town, but didn't burn everything down.
Take your pick, Captain. Should we look in the windows and make sure it's not occupied?
Yeah, we'll move towards the single house. 2 houses to the left. That looks like a single house to me. Though it has 3 chimneys for some reason.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Outside's blacksmithing, actually.
It's 1 house, 2 houses. They're all joined. Who knows what it is? Who could understand? You crawl over and head into this building over here. On the ground floor, you can find that this house is more or less intact. As you make your way in, you can hear the sound of someone upstairs.
Go see.
Walking around.
Go see what's up there quietly. I tell one of them to too.
Well, okay.
Who is it?
I'll go up. I'll go towards the stairs. Does it sound like an oak? Goblin, ogre, human?
It's the sound of something walking and boards creaking. So, not a voice. You make your way up the stairs. And as you do, the stairs creak underneath you, and a human voice calls out. It's the voice of a middle-aged woman. Hello? Paul, is that you? You get to the top of the stairs, and there's a woman sitting in front of a wheel, spinning some yarn, kind of looking in your direction. And she sort of like looks. She doesn't seem to see if she fully sees you. Oh, since I've operated Cloaks of Elvenkind, do you really? Brightly lit room is only 50. This is not brightly lit, but it is a building, so I'm going to say somewhere more than 50, lower than 90. Yeah. She doesn't seem to notice you as you get to the top of the staircase and sort of lean around the corner. Paul?
How close can I get to her?
Oh.
Is she facing me, or is her back to the stairs?
Her seated position looks out this direction, but she heard the creaking and looked. So she's staring in your direction, but her body's facing away from you.
Okay. I'll wait for her to turn back and continue what she's doing, and then walk up and then get closer.
You see that she kind of puts down her wool and reaches for a cricket bat sort of shaped object that's next to where she was sitting, and picks it up with 2 hands, gets up out of her chair, and starts to creep towards the staircase.
Okay, I move to the corner and just let her walk by me.
Make me a dex check with all of your gear and all. Oh, it's a great check. You gingerly step aside. You make a clicking noise. And she freezes when she hears the clicking noise.
Okay. So how does the cloak work with my glaive? Is my glaive just sitting out of the cloak invisible, or I would have had to leave it?
You'd have had to leave it.
Okay. My glaive's downstairs. I pull out my knife underneath the cloak, but I just have it ready.
Right, because your cloak has to be bound all the way around you for it to be effective, and your hood drawn down low. So you're maybe barely you're more peering at the ground than you were at her, and you can kind of see what's being lifted and whatnot.
Okay. But with it closed around me, can I reach into my belt and grab and just have my blade ready?
But yeah, you can easily reach your dagger on your belt side.
Okay, and then staying still, I make another clicking sound a little bit louder.
You're gonna have to roll really well to find to notice where that's coming from. It's hard to hear a random sound that you weren't expecting. You ever have like a weird something in your house that's like making a chirping sound and you don't know exactly what it is and it's irregular and you can't freaking find the thing until you like listen and walk around the house slowly for 15 minutes to try and find what the heck that chirping sound is? It's a nightmare. She hears the chirping. She's very clearly aware of it, but it's like, where did it come from? I couldn't quite tell. And I guess you're probably not able to like look at her straight on because you're not invisible. The cloak provides invisibility, so you can see that her feet have stopped moving. And the bat
towards me.
Yeah, they're vaguely pointed towards you because it's not a. Let's go to the second floor here, so we can make sense of this room. With these people down below, she would have been like at this table here. I guess the chair's facing that way. So she is now. Let's even get a little token. Wasn't expecting you to break into a sewing woman's house and try to murder her in her sleep.
It's not quite what I'm trying to do, but I don't know. Like, she's alive here with like some invaders. So either she's not friendly, or they're not friendly, or she hasn't been found. And so I'm just trying to determine if she's a friendly.
Yeah, totally. I like to invisibly sneak into people's rooms all the time and pretend that it's a good thing. It's just self-preservation, right? That makes everything okay.
It does in this world, I think. Okay, well, I'll wait until...
So you had moved to the corner, right? And she had picked up the bat and started to walk this direction. But she hears the clicking sound, and you're looking down at your feet, and she's right there. And everyone else is below. They've heard you click, and they've heard her move and sort of stop moving and call out for Paul.
Well, they can do what they want. I mean, if they want to come up based on the click. We didn't discuss what the click meant. But I'm going to stand still and just wait until her back is towards me. And if it ever becomes towards me, like, because I'll see her feet move, then I want to, like, just kind of see if I can put my hand around her mouth and, like, my neck and the knife to her throat or belly.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
Or something, you know, knife to her back.
A moment passes and she backs up. I think at this point you're probably maybe losing a little bit of sight of her as she retreats away from you.
Okay, then I'll go back downstairs if I can.
The stairs creak once more, and as they do, she runs forward and around the corner and looks down the staircase. Ooh, I need the other D10 because that's right on the cusp. There's the other one.
Is this like a table? Like, is there anything I can back into?
I mean, it's a staircase. There's not much on the staircase. 73 is a success for you, though.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm already on the stairs. Okay.
So you're on the stairs, moving down it slowly, and you can hear her footstep to the top of the staircase, and then sort of a sigh, and then her gently walking away as you make your way back down to the ground floor.
Okay, I tell Captain there's an old lady upstairs, but I haven't made our presence known.
Sure, I'll nod, I'll unhood myself, and let's see, was there a door in here that we opened to get in?
Yes, there's a front door.
Okay, I'll take off my hood, I'll open it from the inside again and then close it, and I'll say, hello.
Paul?
Quietly. No, it's not Paul. I'm injured.
The woman appears at the top of the staircase wielding a large wooden sports instrument like a cricket bat. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm in my traveler's cloak because I've gotten bitten and scratched at from this beast out there.
Who are you? What are you doing in here?
I'm a traveler. There was a beast which attacked me. Can you help? What's happened in this village?
She hurries to the door and looks outside. Where are your two tokens? Are these their actual places?
Yeah, I'd say, but I'm looking at her and I got my glaive out. And
If
she's
you
not
have
getting
glaive
by
out,
the door
then
without...
then it's visible, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm visible at this point in time.
I went in the building.
Okay. So you're all visible then.
And if Vincent takes off his cloak, then I'll take off mine.
He hurries past you, looks left and right outside, comes back in, shuts the door. You fools, what have you done? Wait, are you here to save us?
If we
Who
were
sent
just
you?
traveling, we might be here to save you.
Gods. Well, hurry inside before anyone sees you. Upstairs, quickly.
Thank you. We weren't seen by the goblins, or orcs, or ogre, I kind of add.
How did you get in without being seen?
We're very good at sneaking around.
Well, welcome to my humble abode. My name is Jazz. Who are you all?
Hey,
Jazz, it's good to see that there's some alive civilization around here. I'd feared everyone here had died.
No, not everyone.
just most.
A lot, some. Do you know what's going on here? Do you understand?
You
Tell us what happened.
Well, with the war raging, some of these foreigners from Solemn arrived in their ships with black flags and the symbol of the goddess of destruction on them. They came into the village a couple years ago, started looking around, and then they made a little post out here. There was a human woman and some of her men, and they had some goblins and orcs as servants and shock troops. We didn't have anything really in the way of soldiers, so we just sort of let them come in, and they set up outposts, and they were mean, and they kind of threw their weight around, but they didn't really care too much about us. They just wanted to look at the mountain nearby, and they built all this equipment, and they created these cranes, and they did all this stuff, and they started excavating the mountains, and then once they needed more labor, then they started forcing us into labor, and then some messengers arrived maybe at the start of the new year, right around the New Year's. I think it was the night before the New Year. The messenger arrived, but I didn't learn about it until 3 or 4 days later. So that's not important. But something changed, and the orcs revolted against the human commanders, hacked them to bits. One of them, the leader, they've trapped in a cage outside of town, or at the edge of town. Her name is Kelmara Stormbreak. She's not the worst person I've ever met. She's actually pretty all right.
She's a Barassian, right?
Yeah, she's one of the Solemnese folks. And the orcs turned against her and hacked her and her men to bits, kept her alive. They parade her around and kick her around a little bit for the sport of it. And then, in the fight, this part of the town burned. Now they're just trying to excavate all the silver they can out of the mountain. There's this old thing here. It's been here a long time. You always used to see little bits of shininess in the rocks, and sometimes brave folks would go climbing out on them to see what it was, and it was like little bits of metal, and these creatures came and they started opening up the cliffside and pulling out pounds and pounds and pounds of pure silver, and they were shipping it back until at the beginning of the year when this messenger arrived and the orcs overthrew the humans in charge, and now they're just stacking up the poundage of silver, but they're insistent on working all the time, and people keep falling off the cliffs, and it's been pretty bad. We were hoping that someone would come and re-overthrow the orcs and goblins, or at least come and take them and all the money away. So we've just been trying to stay really low and out of the way until they inevitably leave, since there's nothing here. And one day they won't be able to, we'll be too deep in the mountains to effectively. It's like these little channels of silver that run straight into the earth, like straight lines, almost like rods of silver. And eventually it'll be too hard to get to, and hopefully they'll all leave by then.
you know how many are here?
About 20 some orcs, similar number of goblins, only 3 ogres left. The ogres came when at the new year. They arrived by the boats with a couple of orcs.
So a messenger from Solemn came and dropped off a few monsters, and that's when they revolted?
I don't know where the messenger was from. They don't tell us anything. But my friend Janice, she saw the ogres come out of the woods with the orcs. And then it was a few days later that the open revolt happened. So I don't know why.
These orcs and ogres from Solemn?
Well, Solemn or Ferodia, or I don't know where they come from. Overseas? Certainly not from here, not from Wexland.
What's the current state of Wexland? Can we humans just wander around and not get attacked by the enemy?
Not looking like that. But
like what? Armed is no good?
yeah, armor, weapons, your nice clothes, you know.
Got it.
How did they dock?
Excuse me?
We saw all the ship. How did they dock? We saw all the shipwrecks in the harbor.
Yeah. They docked somewhere else and walked through the forest. There's a big beach nearby on the other side of the island. It's where we always used to do all of our commerce and trading. This town is odd, you know, we're positioned up here on these cliffs, pretty far away from everything. And it's always been a bit of a pain in the butt to trade with other folks. Sometimes people would come down to the cliffs below us in that little bay and lower down ropes, long ropes, and haul stuff up and down. The pulley systems and cranes they built are really effective. For a moment there, it almost looked like they were going to make the place better. But you asked about, yeah, people, we used to just park on the beach.
What about the tentacle beast in the forest? Have you ever had dealings with that?
God, it's still alive?
Oh. Is there only one?
Yeah. They brought it with them. It was their pet beast? One of Kel Stormbreak's minions. I don't know their names, but they would have the creature on a chain and had a whip they would use to keep it in line. It's a fearsome beast. 6 legs, spikes on little grabby things off of its back, eyeballs that pivot and turn, just a maw with no nose, no eyes, and it can talk to you. It makes sounds. It can lure you, trick you into thinking something's there when it's not. I swear I heard it just a minute ago.
It can throw its voice.
It's so terrifying. I met it up close. I gesture at my wounds.
Is there a healer left in this town? Yeah. Herbalist?
What are you gonna do? If they catch you in here with all of this stuff, they're gonna kill you.
Have they come in your house before?
When they first came into the town, they looked through everything, took anything of value. We didn't have anything, noteworthy. So the goblins kind of poked around, knocked some stuff over, pushed my son about a little bit. But no, not since then.
Well, we're here to try to find something. Is there a work shift we can get on to this mountain?
She blinks at you in skepticism.
Ragged clothes.
You want to volunteer to be a slave?
Well, for a disguise, of course. But yes, for some time.
I'm sure if you changed your clothes and walked around. I'm sure you, yeah. I don't know how you would do it, but I don't think they know they don't ask questions of us. They don't talk to us. You know, we're sort of, I get the feeling like I'm cattle. Or, you know, one of many chickens.
Do I get paid enough to sell myself into slavery temporarily? That's just what a job is.
It seems
Another day
dangerous,
at the office.
Captain. There's a lot of them. And
Yeah, but
that there are things of value in the mountain. There'll be more guards, surely.
of course there are. But it looks like they are not hostile towards the people here. So
Feels like
here's
that's a
my
dice
plan.
roll if you look at them wrong.
If you could point us out to one of these houses that isn't being used, because perhaps the owner has become deceased long, we'll take it and we'll see if we can help solve this problem.
I'm sorry, you're gonna volunteer for slavery
Still out.
to resolve,
50-50.
get rid of them?
Yes, it seems
you
like they have
insane?
too many. They have too many for us to overthrow in a big combat, but perhaps if we sneak around and find out more information, maybe we can help. Maybe we can call on some Drakissian forces and tell them about this.
You have a boat? We could just get out of here. How did you even get here?
We landed at that beach area you told us about.
So let's go. If you've got a boat, let's get out of here.
The tentacle monster.
Let's. Don't you want to save the rest of the town?
Well,
We can't all escape.
you know how crazy you sound, right? You know how absolutely insane you sound.
They nods.
Okay. Well, he thinks for a moment. Let me show you to an empty house. There should be some clothes in there for you. And she will head downstairs with you, head outside, and take you guys through the streets.
We
Up
put our
through.
clothes back on.
You put them on and put the hood up and hide fully?
Yeah. Unless anyone objects. That seems a
If you're
sensible thing to do.
walking through town, you know, it's not really gonna properly invis you, right? Especially if anyone's looking towards you. You
Okay, I
need
guess
the
we just
full
hurry
cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too far a walk, is it? I ask.
No, it takes you to this building right here.
Great. Thank you.
This is the baker's house, she says. He was one of the first to go. He said he wouldn't bake bread for goblins and orcs. So they took us all over to the cliffs, made us watch as they threw him off into the water below. It's a pretty big fall, but it's not enough to kill you into the water. So we splashed and paddled down there around the rocks and cliffs for a while until he ran out of strength.
Captain, I have an idea.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I tell the woman. Thank you for giving us a place to set up.
Lead you up into the section over here. There's some other areas too, but this is the more comfortable spot. And then she says that she's going to go back to her work. And good luck to you. And please don't tell them that she helped you, because she doesn't want to get caught up in any of your insane plans.
Of course. Yes, Svaya. What was it?
What if we start baking for them? We bake for them for like a week tops, and they see us good as the baker, and then we have some of that poison. We have to get into the boat maybe, but we have some of that poison we could maybe bake into the bread and then feed them to them on like the 7th day or something.
You have a cooking proficiency?
No, but I am light on proficiency, so I could start right now. First couple batches, not very good.
That's interesting. Which poison was it?
There was, I think we definitely kept the poisons from the, was it the tomb? One of the jars negatively impacted Theodore.
Yeah, we did bring a bunch of jars with unknown contents in them from the tomb. Some of which had...
But isn't it in the boat, Captain? I can unpack the boat here.
That's pretty tough.
Let's just let's think on it overnight and decide what we're doing in the morning.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll rustle around the area, see if there's plain clothes we can change into.
Yeah, you'll find a couple of sets of clothes. Some of it's covered in flour, some of it's a little too big, some of it's a little too small, but it'll be fine. Like, it'll fit. You're not trying to look nice. In fact, you're trying to look probably a little run down.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll spend the night making it, like, wiping the flour off so they don't recognize it as, like, obvious bakery clothes, but we can change to that.
Where are you going to stash your weapons and your armor and your shields and your cloaks and your stuff? Where is all of the party's most valuable treasure?
It's like there's a chest near this bed. I'll stash my stuff in one of the chests.
Excellent. All right.
Under the bed? Is there any space
Yeah,
under the bed? Or
of course.
I might put my glaive. I guess just, would it stick out if it's under the bed?
Probably not. And you could move a chest to block the end of it if you really needed to.
I'll keep that knife on me though.
Okay. Well, the night passes. In the night, though, a lot of sounds of goblins and orcs. You get the distinct impression that they are nocturnal creatures who come alive at night, laughing, joking, kicking things around. You hear a couple of random cries of people, shouts of fear or distress. The night does pass. The next day is another sort of drizzly, gray day in Wexland. Just a constant little bit of dripping water, and then it'll just be misty for a while, and then it'll rain, and then it'll dry out for just a little bit, but there's puddles everywhere. What would you like to do, party?
Shall I get to baking, Captain? I roll up my sleeves.
I reckon we should just go to the mountain and start our workday as miners.
Okay.
Captain, I know you're in charge, but and if you say to do this, then I'll do it. But I just want to say I think this is a terrible idea.
Absolutely.
I don't see any problems with this plan. Do you want to mention what I may have missed?
I mean, anything could happen to us, and especially if we don't have our weapons or our magic items, they could kill us anytime they wanted, like they did with that baker.
They only did that because the baker acted up. I didn't want to tell the woman that the baker was an idiot in front of her.
Okay. What about the screams
Captain.
last night? It feels like if you even look at them funny, there's a dice roll of whether they'll just smash your head.
Then don't look at them funny, I say as I take out a potion of healing and I drink it.
All right, 2d4 plus 2.
Wow. Yay.
Ooh, minimal, 5 points. Yeah, the party can... You memorized spells this morning, I take it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So-
Is it possible to cast a spell and then memorize spells? Is that...
No. Once you cast a spell, no
okay.
more memorizing.
Makes sense.
Spell components. Some of your spells need them, some of your spells don't. you have many components for most of your spells. We generally sort of ignore it because every time you get to a town, you can more or less refresh the mundane components. But if you're going to be like dressed as a laborer working in the mines, carrying around some strange sacks on your side might draw attention. You know, it might not be technically illegal, but it might be the sort of thing where you show up to some mines and the goblin's like, what's in the bag? I want the bag. And then like look in it. And then they see, I don't know, like some sulfur and some live spiders and like, oh my God, those are the components for spider climb and fireball. You're a wizard and eat you. How would you manage to hide spell components on you? And which ones are you wanting to keep hidden on you?
Understood. I think... Well, I'll do a careful look, but I don't plan to bring any conspicuous spell components. Looks like, for example, Magic Missile doesn't take spell components. I'll prepare 5 of those.
Doesn't one of your spells have to be of your specialty?
Oh, that's correct. 4 of them. And...
That one missing one, that's gonna hurt later.
Enlarge is powdered iron. That's pretty...
Yeah, so... One of my shirts has pockets in it. Mm-hmm. It'll have powdered iron. That's
okay.
fine.
What about your
Can I
second?
sneak a knife?
You can try. They might let you sneak a knife because you're going to be wielding picks or shovels or some sort of instrument, so maybe that's fine. Or
yeah, you can just use the pickaxes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What about your second and third level spells? What are we trying to hide?
Let's see, strength should be easy. That is a few hairs from strong animals. I think I would usually use apes and bears. Well, whatever I got my hands on. So
Yeah, you've got some
ape hairs, bear hairs.
You got some bear hairs. A few bear hairs could easily fit in a pocket with nobody noticing.
Okay, what is this one? A small handful of straw for ride the wind. That's simple enough to pack in a pocket.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then, let's see, this one, wing feather, nah. And this one is a tiny ball of bat guano. Sure, bat guano is fine.
Okay. So we've got some powdered iron and some hairs in one pocket. What was the ride the wind? Some straw and a dry leaf, and some bat guano in another pocket, and hypnotic pattern, a glowing stick of incense or phosphorescent material.
I haven't quite finished. There's
Okay.
no hypnotic pattern.
Got it.
I'll cast Strength on Theodore in the morning.
Excellent.
Seven.
Oh. 18-10?
18 dash. Yeah, something. Doesn't matter exactly.
Okay. Well, party?
Let's see, the Memory Stone is a necklace.
It is.
You gotta leave that.
Pretty conspicuous right now. Or is it not?
Yeah, I'll leave the Memory Stone in a random baker's chest, that's fine.
Okay. The party goes to join the mines. We walk through the town.
I mess up my hair a little bit, put some dirt on my face and on my clothes. Kind of walk disheveled, like I've been working and exhausted and have been enslaved for a period of time.
Mm-hmm. You make your way through the streets of the town, and very quickly, you'll run into people. They're mostly staying inside. Not a lot of people hanging out or living in the streets. You'll see a lot of people gathering for labor on the north side where the cliffs are, where the mountains are. And the folks that you do run across will give you like, who the fuck are those people? You're clearly not from this town. It's a small town on an island in the middle of nowhere. It's the sort of place where you sort of know everybody. You might not know everything about everybody, but you could be like, oh, that's Chris's kid, you know? Or he sort of looks like Nancy. Might be Nancy's son. The three of you don't look like anybody. No one here has ever seen you. And no one seems to want to make a big deal out of it. But you do get looks from the other humans in the area as you walk through. You find a crowd sort of gathering near the cliffside. There's some goblins around, an orc standing nearby who is wielding a weapon that catches your eye. I'm just going to put it here on this map. This orc is wielding a very tall, long polearm with a green glimmering blade and a little gem studded in the center of the polearm. He's also wearing these like thick woolen gloves. I shouldn't say woolen, but like thick leather gloves that have a little bit of fur that comes around them. The very ends of the gloves are open, like sort of like finger gloves, to make it easier to use his fingers. This is distinct from all the other orcs in the area. Like the other orcs, he's wearing splint mail as well. This one guy, plus an ogre and some goblins, starts pointing at folks, calling them out to labor. He'll point at Theodore. He'll point at Vaya. And what's your strength, Trump? Is it, Jeff, it's 6, right? He sort of looks at you and then like looks past you and then starts pointing at some other people for work duty. And the people who are pointed at sort of slowly march forward, and the people who don't breathe sighs of relief and head back into town.
What do we do? We have to go with them, right? Maybe we'll go there and you look around town, see what you can find out. We'll report back at the end of the day.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. The two of you head off and set out across these rickety scaffolding that sort of is somewhat drilled and nailed into cracks in the mountainside. There's no railing whatsoever. It's just a couple of planks wide, dropping straight down to the tumbling seas and shipwrecks below. Some of you have picks. Some of you have like hammers and chisels. Some of you have water skins and like little sections of wood with small knives to make them into like. The idea is you would find a crack in the rock, put the wood in there, let it soak in water, and it'll expand and help break up the rock. So you've got different sets of tools that are being applied. And you're shown by the other prisoners to, march out onto this area and start pulling at these rocks. And once the goblins and orcs and ogres who are not hanging out doing any of this work are out of earshot, there's some folks around you who are going to start asking questions. The person in front of you on the chain gang, you're not really chained up, but there's really only room for one person to stand at a side. You can't pass each other particularly well on the mountainside. The one in front of you, his name is Sage, and the one behind you's name is Tanner. And Sage and Tanner are confused. Who the fuck are you guys? What are you doing here? Did a new ship arrive? Did they bring in prisoners from another island? Where are you from? How'd you get here? What's happening out there?
I'll look at Theodore and look back at them, and then I'll start talking like I've had my tongue cut out, and I'll start mimicking like I know how hand gestures. I'll go,
Mm.
and then I'll
What's
point
she
to
saying?
Theodore and just expect Theodore to do the talking.
She doesn't speak so well.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, we
I
came. Well, we came from another island. We're just traveling, and well, we saw what was going on in town. We're trying to get you guys out, but just keep it quiet. All right, we need to find out what's going on.
How many of you are there? Who sent you? Who do you work for?
The Kingdom of Drakis, of course.
The fuck is a Drekis?
It's one of the kingdoms in Arcadia.
You've come all the way from Arcadia to save us? Why?
No, saving you is just collateral damage.
Oh.
We were investigating and going around the islands. We happened upon this one. We didn't plan to save you.
Are you part of the army? The Royal Guard?
Not the Royal Guard, but our captain. He's investigating the town right now. He's the one with the plan. We're just foot soldiers.
Tanner laughs. You really believing this shit, Sage? What, they're from Arcadia, come over here investigating things, and then now they're slaves, and being slaves is part of the plan to rescue us? Come on, they're pulling your leg. They're captives, right? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're from the Dardanelles. I know your accent. You're from the North Rim, aren't you?
Yeah, how'd you go in there, though, didn't I, Sage?
Jesus. So there's a new boat. They brought in new prisoners.
I reached down and grabbed his leg.
We came by from. I'm from the Dardanelles. I remember what the islands are called. We're originally from blah 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 island, but they said they needed more people here to help out. We landed the ship in the sandbar on the other side of the island. Walked through the forest. Got here just 2 days ago.
How many are there?
Just 3. Some of them died in the forest.
Well, so does that mean the Solemese won the war, or is it still going?
I shrug. They don't tell us anything.
Ain't that the truth? You can labor.
I want to get some information for Vincent. So we think that there was an actuator here. So I want to ask around if anyone has seen anything weird here, any magic arcane symbols, any of the different things that we saw at was it Abex? Right, I forget which one it was called.
Abex Island. Well, yeah.
Yeah, Abex.
As you start to hack into the rock and pull out the silver, it looks just like the silver in that cave in Abex. Abex had like a little grid of like silver columns that ran into the ground at a weird angle. This is like that, only bigger. Like there's more of these cords that are running into the ground, but it's like this straight shot. It looks exactly like the stuff in Abex, only grander.
But no, I don't know. We found those were like rods of nullification or any writings, anything else.
This is just the silver cords.
Okay, and the others have. I mean, they've maybe been here for a long time.
Well, they've
seen something.
Yeah, you ask about these things. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that the legend of this town is that once upon a time, a long, long time ago, this town was an important place. In the old Farron Empire, this town was a major outpost with a lot of, what's the word? With a school and what's the word for like, I guess outpost is the closest word, like a militarized and information trading outpost here. But then after sometime in the last age, in the Age of Might, it was abandoned. It was abandoned by all the people who really cared about it, who used it for whatever weird magical purposes it was being used for. And then it was just like a town up on the cliffs in kind of an inconvenient spot. And then that was really nice because everyone left him alone, and it was defensible because it was hard to siege by sea, and there were never any raiders, and there were never any pirates because it was so hard, like it was so inconvenient to get to. And they still had nice infrastructure, all these nice buildings that managed to survive through the ages, and plenty of stone nearby so they could upkeep them. And that Wexland had for 1,000 years just been like a kind of a quiet place on the backside of the Dardanelles that nobody really had to visit. And if they needed to trade with other folks, it was kind of inconvenient, but people got by. A lot of folks would, their children would leave and disappear, not disappear, but like go out into the world. But those that stayed just sort of stayed here for generations. Weather was nice. There's good farmland, good infrastructure. They actually have a sewer system, which is incredibly rare outside of major cities. The way he tells it, this was like some sort of mythical paradise, free from destruction and danger, with everything you would need. And why would you ever leave this tiny town in the backwaters of the Dardanelles? And it was only, a few years ago when the people from Solemn arrived that everything went to hell. Oh yeah, you were talking about magic and stuff. Yeah, well, there used to be magic here, they said, back in the Age of Might, but what didn't have magic back in the Age of Might? This used to be an outpost in the Farron Empire, but like everything in the Dardanelles was. He doesn't know why that crumbled. It was just, the Farron Empire fell, and so this place was abandoned. But he says it with sort of like a goodness in his voice, like, if you were living in Spain and the Roman Empire collapsed, you're like, and then those damn Romans left and everything was fine. I mean, sure, they gave us plumbing and nice houses and order and economy, but like now they're gone. And has that tone to it.
And what were the grassy empire looking for? Just the silver? Why did they come here?
Every now and then people come by to, look around. Wizards occasionally come and take a look at the place, and then they go. They say they're looking for some sort of magical something or other, but that happens everywhere, right? There's always some crazy wizard or some crazy cleric walking through being like, I'm investigating the ultimate nature of reality. I think your land might hold clues. And then, they hang out for a couple of weeks and cast some spells, and sometimes they try and sell you some stuff while they're here, and it turns out they're not really a wizard. They're just trying to sell you some crappy products and then ditch town before you use them. And, yeah. So when the people from Solemn came, aside from the monsters, it seemed like more of the same. And then they really took over for a minute. And hell, even the white priests, the white prince's men have never been that rough. And sure, they came and they did their looking around, but... Well, I mean, every now and then they used to, at least back before they left. Or were driven out? I don't know. People say there were pirates and dragons. I haven't seen any of that stuff.
Okay. Well, I keep working.
Yep. There's no way to mechanize or properly, impress upon players when their characters are unhappy, right? There's no mechanic for you can do this without any combat penalties or stat penalties or HP penalties, but it's unpleasant. So you can work like this with no penalties to your HP or combat, but it is an unpleasant day. That's all I have to say. Meanwhile, on the rest of the town, Vincent Mapper, too weak to work in the mines, rejected from slave labor. What do you do, Vincent?
I snickered to myself, all according to plan. I take the day off and rest off.
Cool. Yeah, you can gain 3 HP.
Nice.
Your party comes back in the evening. They haven't been fed all day long. You're here in the baker's house, which has been like ransacked and looted. There's no food left in here, but you've got coinage. You could probably buy some stuff, going house to house, maybe knocking on doors, getting some food. I guess you probably brought rations with you. We didn't talk about it, but I assumed you had a couple days of rations when you got off the boat. Yeah.
I explained to Vincent what we learned, which is not too much. What about you? What was going on in the town? What did you find out?
Yeah, during the evening when we share a meal together of rations, I'll get up and eat with them. Also, I spent most of the day just recovering from my wounds against that terrible beast. I didn't figure that the citizens here would have very much information. It seemed pretty clear-cut what happened to me.
Well, I'm not sure. Do you want to do the same tomorrow? I mean, we were there. We're just mining against the rock face. There's not a shrug. There didn't seem to be much there. The people didn't seem to know much.
I think we can do the same, but perhaps this time I'll join you all while invisible. Maybe I can bring along a glaive and a sword while I'm at it. So if anything gets dangerous, then we can fight. But I don't expect to have to.
It's quite narrow. I describe the layout. But if you're invisible, people might bump into you.
I see. Were those orcs and goblins actively walking around, or was it just humans there?
Mostly humans. They kept to themselves.
Okay. They seemed nice and friendly enough. I'm sure they wouldn't say no if they thought that we'd have a chance of helping them. So if they bump into me, that's fine.
Sure.
I'll just tell them we were. Yeah.
Okay, I told them we were slaves that were brought from another island.
That's a strange cover story.
Well, I tried to tell them the truth, but they didn't believe me.
What, they didn't believe we were from Drakus?
Well, no. They never even heard of Drakus, if you believe it.
Only Vincent's from
quite
Drakus.
A backwater island.
Yeah, only you're from Drakus also.
I'm not from the Dardennes, but I haven't disclosed where I'm from, so... But also, they didn't hear me talk. I pretended I was unable to speak. To, gain leverage over them and make them think I was lesser or something.
I see.
For them to underestimate me.
Great, well, rest up. I apologize for having you go through an unpleasant day. There might need to be another one of those, but I feel like with the memory stone in tow and looking around, I should be able to discern what reason this installation was here for.
Okay. How would we like to do this? Do we want to go day by day? Do we want to keep sending the other two off to do labor to kind of give you cover to walk around town? Do you want to keep them hidden in a house and try and keep low? Do you want to ask locals?
We're good to just do tomorrow the same as this, except I'm going to invisibly walk to the mine as well.
Okay. Can everybody in the party roll me a d6? You want low. Low is good. 2, 3, 4.
Why would we want to get picked to work? I understand for this plan, but you said there was like a group of people and they picked us out of the group.
Yeah.
Why would anyone here want to work? Was there some incentive to be on the mines?
No, you didn't get paid. You have no idea what the incentive is. Typically in a situation like this, like if you don't volunteer, then bad things happen. You know, if you show up and say, here I am volunteering, you know, it's fine. But if you're like capable and you're just hanging around in town and they see you and they're like, why aren't you in those mines? Then you get like, you know, bad things happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Where was the...
Do you cast strength the next day? But,
Yes, go and roll for it.
Two. I think I'd be like, this guy's nowhere near as strong as yesterday.
Hopefully you sandbagged your work yesterday, Theodore.
Of course.
Here it is. That evening, before the day comes, before we roll for all of our things for the next day, 'cause something interesting happens at night. Vincent, you spent all day resting. You're in this house, and the baker's house is fairly large, actually. It's a 3-story building. And when you're hanging out here in the 3-story building in the evening, you can see up on the nearby mountainside, there is a series of lights, maybe like 4 lights in a row, kind of looking like a group of people are winding up a switchback trail or something up the mountain in the darkness, led by torches or lanterns. The light flickers, so it's natural, it's not magical. You can't really make out where they are or what they're doing by the darkness and the light. But in the middle of the night, I guess it's not you, it was Vea who rolled lowest. Yeah, Vea, you're the one who notices the lights and can report it to the party if you so desire.
Captain, there are lights off in the distance on the mountain.
Okay, I might find... might be good to investigate that. Is that along the mine trail?
No, I'm going to bring us to the map again. So this is the town over here, yeah? The mining thing comes like right along the edge and then hugs the inside. This is sort of in that same direction, but it's actually up on the mountaintop, so different approach slightly.
Okay.
Were there any kids running around?
There were no kids running around. There were some 15-ish year olds working. And then you spent all day working, and so you haven't seen any kids in town.
You can always shrink me and I'll go in disguise as a child urchin and just hear what I hear. But we'll go with the normal plan of working all day.
It might be helpful for you to be up in the mine because I'll be in the area. Never know when I might need backup.
Yeah. I always wanted to become an adventurer so that I could work in the mines. This is perfect. She had like
100 gold a month.
If what you told me is right, you were mining some extremely valuable
silver, pure silver. Okay, well, I think this is probably going to be it for our session today. Yes, it's almost 4. We should probably wrap it here. When we come back next week, it sounds like we're going to Vincent's going to sneak along the backs of the scaffolding that plunges down into the sea below, invisibly, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, fine, everyone.
It'll be
who knows? Maybe there's an adventurer here in Wexland who I could hire.
I can guarantee you that there's not. Anyone with an adventuring spirit has unfortunately already rebelled against these creatures and has been put down. Unfortunate.
Alas.
Deeply alas. Let's see. February 6th, 2 weeks from today? Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Then we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And that's it. Good job, everybody. Well done on surviving for now. And catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.